So new class, method overloading demo. So I'll just create a one by one. I'll show you. First way is by increasing the number of parameters. Okay, by increasing the number of parameters. First, you should have the method name same. That's the first condition. Method name must be same in the single class. It's a method overloading happens in single class only, not in between two classes. No, it happens in single class only. Public, static, return type. I am putting no sum of int a comma int b. So return a plus b. So next one. See. So this is the number of parameters increased, right? Method name same. So what is increased from this method to this method? Number of parameters are increased. That's the first point. That way we can achieve method overloading. The second way is by changing the parameter data type. By changing the data type of the parameter. So, and here you see that I'll just change this to so double. Now here, so the return type will obviously it changes, right? Because so double means you will get a double data. See now here, this is also same. Number of parameters same, here number of parameters same. So count is same, two parameters. But why it is not complaining? Because this data type is different than this data type. So that's why by changing the data type of the parameter, you can achieve the method overloading. And another one, so third point I told, right, by changing the return type of the method, you cannot achieve. By changing the return type of the method, so overloading, method overloading cannot be achieved. Cannot be achieved. Okay, so this is the method overloading. So concept. Okay. Now see that I'll just change. So keep the change this to different. Okay. Return type only, right? We need to change return type only. That's what I'm trying to prove here. So if you're trying to prove to this one, still, so you're getting error. So that is not possible. If you change the return type of the method, you cannot achieve method overloading. Only parameters. It belongs to parameters only. That point you need to remember method overloading means. So I'll comment out this because this is not possible. Okay. Yeah, I have commented out. So I have proved that also. So the next concept is, can you overload the main method? Yes. Answer is yes. So how you can overload? Let's see. This is the main one, right? But let me create a few more main methods. So see, I can overload. Method name is same. That's my condition is satisfied. Only arguments will be different. The parameters are different. This is the array, but this one is a normal string object. So system dot out dot print. Maybe so I can do some calculation here. Str equal to str plus str. So maybe I'm doing some concatenation with the plus operator. New string value is plus str. Even I can do that here itself. So you don't need one more line. Okay. So that's the one. And one more main method I'm going to create. So this time I'll use a int a. So int result equal to a multiplied by 5. So system dot out dot println. So result values. So this is the so how to overload the main methods. So which method, how it will call? So there is a one more concept here, binding. So binding means the connection between method call to method body. This is the method body. This is the method body. And this is the method body. So the call means you are invoking the method. See, when I invoke, the connection will establish. So early binding means if you early binding or so static binding we call that. Two types of bindings are there. Early binding, static binding, one. Second one, dynamic binding or late binding we call that. So what is a binding? A connection between method call to method body is called binding. The binding happens in two ways. One is a static binding and another one is dynamic binding. Static binding also called early binding and dynamic binding also called late binding. So static binding happens when there is a so connection between method call to method body will happen at compile time itself. So that is for static. When you have a static methods, private methods, final methods in your class, then static binding takes place. So dynamic binding means it happens at runtime. When you create object, that time this dynamic binding will happen. So that's the depends on type of methods you have in your class. For example, if I do, so now which method it is going to call? Which main method it will call?
Integer main. First is the above one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
main A
Integer type.
will call this one, but this one will call
String type.
So this is the method call, and the
Mm.
method body is this one. It will call
Yes.
this. So it will call this is the one. The link between here. And this one will call this part. Okay. So that is the how the linking. This is the binding is happening. So at a compile time itself. So that's the binding means. So any questions here? So that's the so method overloading example, this one. And also you can call return type methods, right?
It means when we run the program, actual main will be called with the current like main of string of args. Is this the
That's the
static
main
type?
one. That's the main
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
So that structure we cannot change.
Change, but we can
That's the
override that.
execution one. That's the execution one.
Okay.
So whatever you are creating, that main methods are you are just overloading them.
Overloading. Okay.
Now this will call which one? So this will call 3-parameterized method. So this will call 2-parameterized integers. And there is one more 2-parameterized, right? So maybe some and 2 and 11.55. See, this is the integer and double. So it will understand the type of data you are passing. Even though here also 2 parameters, here also 2 parameters, it will understand. So it has to go this method body. So this is the all method overloading. It happens in single class, but all the methods. So overloading means you are overloading this method with the parameters changes. The parameters are different. That's a method overloading means. Let's go and execute all this. Somewhere it is missing. See, so expected and curly bracket. Line number 3. See, here it is showing error. We should not go that. Okay, this is not possible, right? So in the same package, no, that's why. Anyhow, let's. So even though in our, it's not in our class, but still it is showing error. So entire project, if it is errors, it won't allow. So this is the one result value. Hello, 49.55. So this is all about method overloading. Any questions before moving on to the method overriding? Please practice these exercises. I have given some quiz. Practice on that. Method overriding is it happens between two classes, one child and one parent class. So if the subclass has the same method, that is already declared in the parent class. That is called method overriding. Sir, why you want to declare two places same method? The logic is different. Parent class method logic is different. Child class method logic is different. You will implement differently in the child class. Parent class method you will implement differently in the child class. You don't want to disturb the parent class method. You will just improvise and you can write your own logic in the child class for the same method. And parameters, everything same. Only logic you will write it differently. That is called method overriding. So if the subclass provides the specific implementation of the method that has been provided by one of its parent classes, it's known as a method overriding. Usages of Java method overriding is method overriding is used to provide specific implementation of the method that is already provided by its superclasses. So method overriding is used for runtime polymorphism. The rules for Java method overriding is method must have same name as in the parent class. Parent and child class method name must be same. Method must have same parameters, both parent and child class. So these are the conditions you have to apply when you are creating method overriding. Child class implementation should be different than parent class logic. So you must apply inheritance between the two classes. Extends keyword you have to use. That's the rules for method overriding. So runtime polymorphism means what? Or dynamic method dispatch. So it is a process in which a call to an overridden method is resolved at runtime, not at compile time. So that is called runtime polymorphism or dynamic method dispatch. Okay, you have the same method in two classes. From which class this method has to pick up? That is the dispatching. Dynamically it dispatches based on the object you are creating and using that reference. That is called runtime polymorphism or dynamic method dispatch. So an overridden method is called through the reference variable of superclass. So generally overridden method you can call through reference variable of superclass. So that process is also called upcasting. When a reference variable of parent class refers to the object of child class is known as upcasting. So this is the one. Parent class, reference variable equal to new child class. So that is called upcasting. So upcasting, so both classes should maintain easy relationship, and that's the upcasting means. So can we override static methods? No, you cannot override the static methods. So why we cannot override static methods? Because static method is bound with the class, whereas instance method is bound with the object. Static belongs to class area memory. Instance belongs to heap area memory. So heap area only runtime objects will store there, right? That's what we discussed very clearly. That's the reason you have to give why we cannot override the static methods. Can we override Java main method? No, you cannot override because main method is a static method. So any static methods can't be overridden. Can you override the private methods? No, you cannot override. Private can be accessible in the same class. You cannot access in the child class. That's why you cannot override. How can you stop overriding the methods? Make the method as a private or final or static, then those methods cannot be overridden. So these are all interview programs. It will help you. Suppose best example is get interest rate. Suppose RBI will set one interest rate, but the banks, each bank, they have their own interest rates. SBI, HDFC, Axis Bank, Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Home, LIC. So all these are different. So classes have different rate of interest. How you can get that? So you have to define that class inside your own rate of interest. So that is this overriding means. So what is the difference between method overloading and method overriding? So method overloading is used to increase the readability of the program. Method overriding is used to increase the to provide the specific implementation. You can write your own logic in the child class method. You don't want to disturb the parent class method. That is used by many people. You don't want to disturb, but you want a different logic for this. Then you can use a method overriding. Method overloading is performed within the class. And method overriding occurs in two classes. So that is having easy relationship. Method overloading, so parameter must be different in method overloading, but method overriding parameter must be same. So method overloading is an example for compile time polymorphism. Method overriding is an example for runtime polymorphism. So, and return type of the method must be same in method overriding, and in method overloading, so it can be performed by changing the return type of the method. So this is a very important interview question, difference between method overloading and overriding. Please go through these notes. On this, you will get a lot of questions on polymorphism. Read thoroughly this topic. Okay, so come tomorrow with all these concepts and we'll see practicals on this method overriding tomorrow. And also I'll explain super keyword. Already explained this keyword, but again I'll show one more time this and super keywords once again. Final keyword, these three, tomorrow I'll show you that. Okay, thank you.